All right, so this is an intro video to a 12-acre tract in Shannon County, Missouri, out by Chalk Bluff. Really special property. We'll jump into why it is in a moment here, but first let's look at the area. So the section in the middle is the Chalk Bluff development area. The different tracts at Chalk Bluff of different sizes, from 5 acres up to um, as big as 15 acres, basically. If you go to the west, just an eighth of a mile, this purple area is the Ozark National Scenic Riverways, and this river is the Jacks Fork River. So the Scenic Riverways is basically uh, a federal easement for the public to go and access the Jacks Fork River and use and enjoy this area. So that's pretty awesome. If we go to the east, which this actually borders the east side of the Chalk Bluff tracks, and it's only about a quarter mile or half a mile from the 12 acres. This is the Rocky Creek Conservation Area. And this particular tract of the conservation area is about 3,000 acres. And that's uh, either a state forest or public land that you can use for additional hunting and recreation. And there's trails through there. I mean, it's awesome. Um, so you've got your 12 acres here, and you can set up your camp here, your cabin or whatnot. You've got the scenic riverways and the Jacks Fork River to the west, which includes the actual Chalk Bluff, and that is gorgeous. I will only get within about 30 feet of it because it's a sheer drop, but even from 30 feet, it's a really pretty view. And then, of course, to the east, you've got the conservation area. So, amazing area, super private, super peaceful, fantastic amounts of wildlife. Let's get into the property itself. So, the tract itself is a 12-acre tract. You take the You'll come in from the east. It's the only way to get here. And you'll ultimately come in on this forest road here on the right side of the screen. You'll get to Chalk Bluff, and now you're on an easement road. So you'll continue on the easement road for, I guess, about 3/4 of a mile, and you go left onto this smaller easement road. Take that basically to the end, and you'll see the property on the right. And let's zoom in a little bit here. Oop. Okay. I mean, this tract has some really cool stuff going on with it, and we'll see that in a second here. Now, first of all, the Chalk Bluff area was logged within the last 3 or 4 years. This Google photo is probably a couple years old, um, because what has happened was some of the tracks were logged very heavily and some were not. This particular tract was not logged very heavily, not in my opinion. Now, when you look at this aerial or whatnot, it looks like there's big timber on this adjacent tract. The reality is, uh, after this photo was taken, or this aerial, this portion was logged very heavily. Like they had probably planned to turn that into pasture. And meanwhile, this tract, which wasn't logged as heavily, has been growing back for a couple years. So you'll see that in the drone video. You'll see that the tract itself actually looks pretty good. And this tract here in the aerial that looks good, which is not on the property, was logged very heavily just basically last year. Um, so let's take a look here. Whoop, it zoomed in without my permission. Let's switch over to topo map. This is what's special about this tract, other than being in this area. You've got the private easement road access, which dead ends at or just past the property. And then if you look at this topo map, what this indicates is a very long ridge that runs deep into the property. There's actually a trail that runs along this ridge, um, and then it drops down basically on all sides as you get more towards the southwest end. And then on the southeast side and the southwest side, the property borders a gravel creek bed. So this southeast one would be a really small little creek bed with just a little gravel, and this one here on the southwest side is a bigger creek bed, wider creek bed. Um, may have pockets of water in it year round, but it's certainly not what I would call a year round creek, more of a seasonal creek or wet weather creek. But if you look at the topography, I mean, look at this area here. That is good topography for finding springs. We haven't walked the property. All we've really done, if you watch the ground video, is we parked here and we walked in on the trail, maybe up to here. But the drone video, we fly over it. I mean, this is kind of what people are always calling us about, is they want a private end of the road property with a long private ridge, where they can get out away from it all and have potentially a sweeping view. And if you look at the topography, how the land slopes down, I mean, that's what views are all about. Is you build here on this flat area, You'll have to clear out probably some of the smaller timber because there is quite a bit of timber, and that's going to open up this stunning view looking west toward the National Scenic Riverways, looking east toward the Rocky Creek Conservation Area, looking down at your own creek bed. Pretty darn awesome property. Okay, so zooming out a little bit, you can see Chalk Bluff here. What else did I want to say about this? You definitely want to print out all the maps before you visit the property in the area because most of these roads are not well marked. The forest roads are not well marked. So the maps are helpful. If you can get the MapRight app on your phone, we can send you the link to this particular interactive map. And then if you can get email on your phone, that's how MapRight will send you the link. Open up the email, click on the link. It'll say, do you want to open this in the app? And you'll say yes, and then you'll be good to go. And what that will do is it'll open up this interactive map, and there'll be a blue dot to indicate exactly where you are, or where your phone is, I guess. So you'll have that in your vehicle with you, and you'll be tracking yourself as you go. So when you come to the inevitable crossroads in life and in the forest, you get to this area, oh geez, there's a crossroads. Well, I guess I have to veer left. Oh, now it's several other roads. Well, okay, I'll just stay the course and get to the property that way. So without that, I mean, people have definitely survived for thousands of years without the MapRight app, but it really is handy. If you don't have it, then while you're going through this forest, basically the best thing to do is stay on what looks like the main road because people do tend to come out to Chalk Bluff to take photos and stuff, so that's going to have a little more traffic, likely more traffic than these side roads. So if the trail looks like it's grown up, then you probably are going the wrong way. Keep going on the trail that looks like it's had a little traffic. Let's switch to the street map. And that tells a pretty good tale as well. Whoops. Okay, we'll go out one more time. Okay. So if you look to the upper right area here, this is Eminence, Missouri. A really popular, kind of a tourist type town with the Jack's Fork River, and I believe it's the trail ride capital for horse rides, or that's what it calls itself. But if you happen to be starting from Eminence, you would take Highway 106 to the west. You would go south on Highway E for about a mile. You would go west on the gravel road, which is County Road 412. Follow that down into the conservation area where it becomes a forest road, and then take that to the easement road. And then once you get into Chalk Bluff, it's this I guess you'd call it the third easement road on the left, but hopefully you'll have your maps. Hopefully you'll have the MapRight deal, and you'll be in good shape. Okay. By the way, there are other roads that indicate there are other ways to get to this property. We have yet to find another good way. So the way that we just told you about is the way that we recommend you go. Let's zoom out here. Okay. So again, here's the property in the center. Here's Eminence up here to the northeast. Closest Walmart, Mountain View down here to the southwest, which is 15 or 20 miles, but takes longer than that because you've got to go through the conservation area and then down Highway E and then west on Highway 60. And just to put this in a little more perspective, zoom way out, and off to the left we've got Springfield, Missouri. That's where our office is, and when we go to the property, we take Highway 60 to the east, past Mountain View, past the tiny town of Birch Tree, go north on Highway E, go west on County Road 412, proceed to the property, making sure you have multiple maps. By the way, these colored areas are public land, so the light green are the Mark Twain National Forest, the purple is the Ozark National Scenic Riverways, and the blue is generally a state forest, so like the Rocky Creek Conservation Area and other conservation areas. So the Ozarks is known for having a lot of good public land, and I mean you can see that on this map. You've got tens of thousands of acres of public land very close to the property. So super nice property. Rarely do we get them with the long ridge and the private trail and all that stuff. So if you've been on the fence about a property, this might be a good one to pull the trigger on. If you want to come look at it, please feel free. Print out the maps. We can send you the MapRight app. You definitely want to check the website to make sure it's still available. With that, if the property is not on the website, it is not available. We leave the videos on YouTube so the buyers can continue to view them. But we sell the properties on the website at InstantAcres.com. So that's where you do need to go to check on the available properties. Or you can give us a call, or you can send us an email at sales at InstantAcres.com, and we would definitely love to talk to you about this property if it's available, or another property if this one is gone. InstantAcres.com. That's us.